boys and girls. Mrs. Hanson here. Now we are going to work on math. And we had to skip ahead a little bit, but that's okay because we've been working on a lot of that stuff that we're going to skip over. It was like patterns and stuff. And we've been working on patterns all year. So we get to work on our 3D shapes. Ah! So we're going to just talk about a couple shapes today. So we have two shapes we are going to learn about. We have our handy dandy 3D cube and our handy dandy roly-poly. Mrs. Hanson lost that roly-poly sphere. So we have a sphere and we have our cube. So these are the two we're going to learn about today. And you guys are going to need your My Math book and a pencil. In your My Math book, you guys are going to get page 693, 694, 695, and 696. And right before that, the 2 pages before that page, we have our flashcards. So I'm going to go through our flashcards, and then remember on the back it has the words for you to trace so you guys can practice. So here we have a cube. So we have our cube. It's a 3D shape cube. I accidentally paused it. Cone. You can have like a party hat or an ice cream cone. Sphere, like a ball, or we have a basketball here. You can also do like an orange, a golf ball, different kinds of balls would be perfect. Slide. So this is another vocabulary word, not a shape. Roll. So this is something some of our 3D shapes can do. Cylinder, like a can. This one has a can of corn. And then stack. So then some of our shapes will be both stack, roll, and slide. So we're going to learn about that. Not today, but we will. So you guys can cut those out, trace the little words on the back, and practice those so you guys can learn those 3D shapes really well. So we are going to start on this page, 693, with spheres and cones. Spheres and cubes. Mrs. Hanson might be losing her mind. So we have a cube and we have a sphere. I have another handy dandy sphere that I was able to find. It's an orange. It's not the orangest orange. I don't know why it's so green. Well, it's because it's not ripe, but we have this orange, and I was trying to look for something that's cube shaped, but everything was shaped like a rectangle, not a cube, because you can see our cube has square sides. And I have a ton of them in our classroom. What about a dice? So a dice is shaped like a cube, right? Or even sometimes our perfect little ice cubes that we get in our drinks. So that's what I want you guys to think of when you guys are thinking of our 3D shapes. Remember our 2D shapes that we learned about last week, they are flat. So we have this shape, which is a circle, but it's flat. Then we have this shape, which is a square, but it's flat. So these are 2D because they're flat, and these are 3D because they're the same whichever way you flip them. All right? So let's see our directions for 693 and we'll get to work. All right, so on the bottom it says, go on a 3-dimensional shape walk around the classroom. Well, we're not in our classroom, we're in our homes, but Mrs. Hanson has a trick up her sleeve. Identify objects that are shaped like spheres and cubes. Draw a picture of one of the objects besides the matching shape and tell whether the objects are solid or flat. So we have our sphere. Has our sphere right here. So I want you guys to try your best. We're going to draw an orange to make it look like a 3D shape. So I am just going to draw a circle, and then I did the little top, and then I put a leaf on it. So there's my orange. If you guys want to draw something different for your sphere that you have at home, you can, okay? And then down here, we're going to draw a picture for our cube. I'm going to imagine that I have a dice in my hand. So I am going to draw my die. And I'm going to draw it so it looks like a cube. If you just want to draw a square and draw a dot or two on it so I know it's dice, that's fine. Mine is not the greatest, but you can tell it's a cube and you can tell it's a dice, right? So I want you guys to draw one picture, one next to your sphere and one next to your cube. And you guys can do the same thing as me, or you guys can do your own picture, whatever you guys want to do. All right, now we're going to flip it over to the back. So we are on 694. So our directions are, name the shape above the object. So we have two objects, two objects. What is this called? This is called. What is this one called? Cube. Say it with me. Sphere, cube. Then it says describe it. A sphere is smooth and round all the way around. A cube is square and not flat all the way around. That's our cube. Compare it to the shapes and objects below it. Trace the circle around the matching shape. So we have our sphere, a golf ball. So everybody circle your golf ball. Next, we have our cube. This is our dice with numbers on it instead of dots. Circle your dice. All right, number 3. Name the first shape in the row. We have a sphere. Describe it, compare it to the other shapes, and then circle the one that matches the shape. Next one, what's that shape? Name it, describe it, compare it, and circle the one it matches. Now we're going to move on to this page. What's our shape? Describe it, compare it, circle the one that matches. What's our shape? Name it, describe it, circle the one that matches. What's our shape? Describe it, circle the one that matches. What's our shape? Describe it, circle the one that it matches. All right, last but not least, we're going to do our back. So here's our directions for our back. Name the shapes of the planet. So what is the shape of our planet, or what is the shape of this moon? The sphere. Find those shapes on the page and draw lines to them. So all these shapes around you are just going to go draw lines to the moon to match that they are the same shape. Only the spheres, right? Then it says, identify the part of the rocket that is shaped like a cube. So here's our rocket. Which one of those is a cube that we've been talking about? Draw lines from those shapes to the rocket. So all these other ones, you're going to draw lines. So you're going to match up all the cubes and all the spheres. And then you're going to explain to a friend what a cube looks like. The same thing with a sphere. So you're going to tell whoever you're working with today to describe. You're going to describe the sphere, and then you're going to describe the cube. Okay? So what are some things we can do with our cube? Can we stack it? Could I stack other cubes on top? What about, could I roll this cube? No, it doesn't have smooth edges. It wouldn't roll really well, but I could stack it like a block, right? So remember, we can stack a cube. Now what about a sphere? Could I stack a whole bunch of spheres? Look, it's just rolling around in my hand. Do you think it'd be really good at stacking? No. What about rolling? Could I roll this pretty easily? Super rolly, because it's smooth like a ball. So our sphere we can roll, our cube we can stack. Can we roll a cube? Not really. Could we stack a sphere? Not really. So making sure that you guys know that you can stack and you can roll the different objects is good too. So after that, we are all done with our lesson on spheres and cubes. And you guys can finish up your math And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.